What's going on, everybody? It's Sasha, your licensed real estate market expert here in Charlotte. Hope you're all doing well. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back for another video where today we're going to talk about why are people moving to Indian Land, South Carolina. Before we go ahead and get into that though, do me a favor, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and leave me a comment down below and let me know what your thoughts are in regards to what we had talked about today, and if you have any other questions at all. And as always, if there's anything I can ever do for you in regards to real estate, in regards to any questions you have about suburbs, zip codes, some of the surrounding areas such as Indian Land, Fort Mill, Tega Cay, or anything like that, you can always call, text, or email me anytime. All my contact information is linked right here and everything's listed down below. So let's get into it. Why are people moving to Indian Land, South Carolina? Indian Land has seen so much growth in the last 10 years and especially the last 5 years. There's been a ton of influx of people moving to the area for some of these reasons that we're going to talk about today. First one being affordability. Do not get me wrong when I say this. You cannot get a 4 or 5 bedroom house in Indian Land for $300,000-$400,000. When I say affordability, I mean relative to some of the surrounding areas, especially Valentine. Valentine is only a 5 to 15 minute drive from Indian Land, and there's a good amount of people that had initially started their search in Valentine, but maybe they wanted a newer construction house. Maybe they wanted bigger square footage, and of course they wanted to save some money. So you get a little bit more bang for your buck in Indian Land versus places like Valentine, but you share a lot of the good amenities with being so nearby. Not only do you share a lot of the amenities that you have, you're also going to get some tax breaks. Because you're located in South Carolina, the property tax rate is 0.56%. So generally speaking, roughly for about a $600,000 home, you're going to be paying under $3,500 a year in property taxes. As opposed to North Carolina, where the rate is 0.72, you're going to be looking at a little bit closer to just under $4,000 a year for the same house. So I was recently in Indian Land and Valentine looking at 2 houses for one of my clients. One of the houses in Valentine was just under 4,000 square feet, built in 2014, and it was listed just under $900,000. We found a similar home in Indian Land, just under 4,000 square feet, brand new construction, expected to be completed at the end of this year, just under $765,000. For a newer home with roughly the same square footage, but almost $140,000 less. So that alone is a good reason people are moving to the Indian Land area. It is a very family-friendly suburban area. A lot of families are looking to move there because of the bigger homes, the schools, and the amenities that I just mentioned that it provides. So Indian Land is essentially almost a suburb just outside of Charlotte, but it's also just outside of North Carolina. So transportation-wise, from Indian Land to Center City, Uptown Charlotte, you're looking at about a 35 to 45 minute drive, always depending on traffic, and the same goes for the airport. Now, depending on what you're looking for in Indian Land, it does have a slightly rural feel. There's areas in Indian Land that are a little bit on the outskirts, but a majority of the people that I talk to, they want to be within 5 to 10 minutes of all of the amenities that Indian Land provides. And all of those amenities are going to be along 521 and 160 highway. That's where you're going to have your grocery stores, your shopping, your restaurants, your coffee shops, liquor stores, the gym. All of those are going to be along 521 and Highway 160. So if you're someone that wants to stay within a 5 to 10 minute drive to a good amount of amenities, being nearby 521 and 160 is definitely a good place to start. Another reason we're seeing that amount of growth in the Indian Land area happen is because it's just outside of Charlotte. Charlotte is starting to have less and less space to grow, to build more communities, to build more mixed-use developments, and it's a lot easier to spread outward. So as I mentioned, with everything that Indian Land provides, it's a really good option, especially people that want to stay close to Valentine. So Valentine is the 3rd largest corporate park, so there's a ton of office spaces there, a ton of mixed-use developments, and if you happen to be relocating to the area, there's a really good chance that you might end up in Valentine being kind of your home base office. And with all of the construction and the brand new Valentine Reimagined that's going to be coming up here, and I'll link the video I did right here to explain Valentine Reimagined a little bit more, it's just going to bring even more amenities to people and families where it's going to be nearby. So whether you are living in or around Valentine or Indian Land, you're going to have a lot more amenities and things to do, a place for events, festivals, and things like that coming very soon. On that same page of office spaces and growth, Indian Land is seeing a lot of economical growth that's continuing to happen as we have more people moving to the area, as they're starting to build more and more in the area. Some of the headquarters that are located in Indian Land are Continental Tire, Red Ventures, Sharon View Federal Credit Union, Inspiration Networks, and Movement Mortgage. Which, by the way, if you're looking for a lender, feel free to contact me. I have the best lender at Movement Mortgage. Even if you don't like me personally, for whatever reason, I want to get you connected with this lender because she is absolutely amazing and she will save you the headache of a lot of other potential lenders out there. And she is actually located right there in the Valentine area, but her office is right there out of Indian Land. So in a nutshell, who is Indian Land good for? I've worked with a lot of people relocating there, and based off my experience, it's a lot of younger families moving into the area. They want the proximity, they want the location, they want the good schools, they want the newer construction homes, and they want the bigger size homes, and they want to save some money on the front end for the purchase price of the home, and not to mention the taxes. Also, another benefit, if you're moving here and you're potentially planning on retiring, the South Carolina area, Indian Land, Tega Cay, Fort Mill, Rock Hill, the ones that are pretty close to the North Carolina border, that are pretty close to Charlotte, are all a good option because you're going to have those tax saving benefits that you don't get in North Carolina. North Carolina is still well under the average, but it's still 0.20%, a fifth of a percent less in taxes that you're going to spend on your property. Now, I will say, one of the biggest downfalls about a home in South Carolina versus North Carolina, as long as the home is your primary residence, you're going to get those tax savings on your property taxes. If the home is not your primary residence, unfortunately, they will charge you like 3 times the amount. So that $600,000 home that we talked about a little bit ago, that you're paying under $3,500 a year in taxes, if you were to move out of that home and use it as a rental, you'd be paying almost 3 times the amount, over $10,000 a year, because it's not your primary residence. So if you're somebody that's potentially looking to buy a home and in the next 5 years keep that home as a rental in South Carolina, you might want to reconsider that option. But if you're somebody looking for a primary residence and then in 5-10 years you're going to just sell that home outright and then buy a new home, you have absolutely nothing to worry about. I'd love to kind of hear your guys' feedback on this video and some of the stuff that I mentioned. But Indian Land is an all-around great feel. It just feels like a suburban town. It has a little bit of that rural aspect, but you have a lot of almost every single thing you need within a 5 to 10 minute drive, and 5 to 15 minute drive, you're going to have even more amenities. So there's a ton of people that live in the Indian Land area and work in Charlotte. And of course, there's people that live in Indian Land and work in South Carolina and at some of these headquarters over here that I mentioned. Now, with all that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If there's anything I could ever do for you, call, text, or email me anytime. I'd love to chat with you. See you on the next one. Take care. Bye.